Hello, I'm Yoko, and welcome to another Pokemon Gijinkas video, aka drawing Pokemon as humans. If you enjoyed this type of content, I have a playlist link below that you can check out after this one to see more Pokemon that I've drawn. But if you're new here, I basically draw 6 semi-randomized Pokemon and randomize a gender based on the Pokemon's existing gender ratios. If the Pokemon is genderless, then the character falls under the non-binary umbrella. Now with that said, let's get into the Pokemon. First up in this video is Lechonk, who the randomizer decided would be a boy. I also think this is my first Paldean Pokemon to show up in this series. I styled his hair to have bangs similar to Lechonk's ears and gave him a small curly ponytail to call back to Lechonk's tail. And I usually bring this up later in the drawing, but I draw every 10th Pokemon species in this series as a shiny version, so this Lechonk is actually shiny. I'm doing a semi-modified shiny lock of Violet right now, and I have a shiny Lechonk / Oinkoloing now, and they have somehow been my MVP for most of the beginning challenges so far. I don't know how, but I love them. His name is Curly, and he's amazing. He defeated the Cloth and like all the other beginning stuff, honestly. Anyway, I'm basically acting like I was drawing Curly from my shiny lock here. Before seeing he was shiny, I was playing with the thought of making Lechonk's actual eye makeup like glasses and saving the actual makeup for when I eventually draw an Oinkoloing. But when I saw I was drawing him shiny, I knew I was drawing him pink and sassy, so I had to go and actually give him makeup. I also gave him a brown loose shirt that's slightly tucked in and a loose pink overcoat / jacket thing with slightly darker cuffs which call back to Lechonk's feet since they're pink like most of the shiny Lechonk's body. I gave him a pig-like nose, but I also put the nose shape on his shoes as another callback to it. I usually stick strictly to the color palette I'm handed from the Pokemon, but I wanted to get a bit more variance in the pink because it's mostly pink and brown for Lechonk's colors as a shiny, and I wanted to do a little bit more of that grayish, darkish, black kind of color that normal Lechonk had, so I made his shoes part of that color, and I also made part of his hair that color with a gradient that goes into more pink. I also added the hints of yellow on his makeup and also his little hair tie. And yeah, that's basically my Lechonk drawing. I really love him, he's sassy, and he makes me want to go back to playing my shiny lock where Curly destroys all foes unexpectedly. How is an Oinkoloing doing so good at destroying my enemies? Anyway, I hope you guys like him too, and we're gonna be moving on. The next Pokemon up is Clink. Clink doesn't have a gender ratio, so non-binary umbrella time. So I went a little more complicated on this design than expected, which I slightly regret because that means that I'll have to make a potential future Clang and Cling even more complicated, but Clink as a Pokemon is basically a gear with 2 faces, so I made this design 2 characters, with one leaning over the other kind of nervously. I'm also a bit more lenient with how human I make certain types of Pokemon, such as Steel types, which sometimes I make a bit more robotically, which I did here. Looking closer at Clink, it seems they both have X's on their left eye, so oops. But I gave them X's for their eyes that are closest to each other. Overall, I kind of mirrored the designs for these two. I gave them hair that was styled with a bunch of small tied bits to resemble the gears on Clink because I thought that was a good way to do it. Going back to resembling the gears, I also gave them a sort of poncho that had gear-like ending bits. And technically just the faces on this design are basically Clink, but I had to give them a whole body. They have dark gray pants that are open on one leg and have a random belt on the other. I also have robotic legs and arms that are peeking out from their clothes wherever you can see them. And Clink is mostly gray, but they do have a tealish nose, so I used that color for some pop throughout the drawing, such as on their actual nose, their hair ties, knuckles, the knee, the belt / top of their pants that you can see slightly peeking out on one of them. And yeah, that's my Clink. I really like them. I maybe should have made them a little bit more simple, but oh well, I'll cross that bridge whenever I get to Cling. But I hope you guys like them. Next up is Cleaver, who was randomized to be a boy, which I'm grateful for because now I can give him a beard. For anyone that doesn't know, I did not have fun playing Legends Arceus. While it was a breath of fresh air to most people, I did not enjoy the changes to the formula personally. I really liked the normal Pokemon formula of run around, en route, go to destination, keep going, stuff like that. It's very simple and it makes my brain happy. Other people can have fun and that's fine, just not my cup of tea. Too different and I was always lost in that game. Not fun. That being said, I do enjoy the new Pokemon that were introduced for the most part, and Cleaver is really cool. Design-wise, as I said, I gave him a beard and some big bushy eyebrows. Despite that, he's also mostly bald above the head except for a ponytail that sticks up. Oh yeah, before I forget, after I finished this sketch, I decided to flip him purely because I wanted to be able to fit the dex number in the left corner, like I always do. I tried to keep his outfit fitting for the HoOh fashion and gave him jagged brown bits where sleeves should be, trying to call back to Cleaver's little arm things. I tried to style the outfit as similar to Cleaver's body as possible, giving him the lighter brown creamish color as a sort of sock thing, as well as a tie around the waist. I also loosely based the shoes on what Ray and Akari, I think, wear in the game, with a darker brown colored tie and a bit of a strap above it. And a big elephant in the room is that I just gave him big giant stone axe things. Basically just took that straight from the Pokemon because it's a big thing from his design and I had to keep it. And that's basically my Cleaver design. Overall, this design was really tough as I struggle with this type of fashion, as well as weapons and facial hair. So this was a lot of things I just needed to practice more on, but overall I'm really happy with the results. And I hope you like him too. Hope I did him justice. And the next Pokemon up is Huntail, who the randomizer decided would be a girl, and I may or may not have struggled a lot with the concept stage of this one too. In the end, the dex kept mentioning that this Pokemon was slender and stuff, so I looked up model poses trying to get some inspiration, and design-wise, I wanted to go with something that might be seen as one of those more outgoing fashion shows that are kind of out there. You know, the artistic kind. I wanted her to be a bit edgy, so I gave her a mohawk to call back to Huntail's fin. I also gave her orange makeup, gauges, sharp nails, and white snakebite piercings to call back to Huntail's teeth. In the planning stage, I played around with having her mouth open and having little sharp teeth, but it didn't really look that well. I gave her a hoodie that's cropped too high to be useful, but you know, that's fashion. And then put the circular patterns that Huntail has along its body on her sleeves. I also have what might be an orange sports bra peeking out from underneath the crop part of the shirt. She then has a sort of small blue skirt that has orange bits coming off of it and looping around one of her legs. I don't know, I was struggling trying to figure out how to incorporate Huntail's little orange fin things along their back, so I went with that. She's wearing light blue leggings that also have the circular patterns. Originally, I planned on them only being on one leg, but I went with both in the end after looking at it, and I styled her shoes to look like Huntail's fish lure tail. But yeah, that's my Huntail. I hope I managed to pull off the strange but slightly intimidating look that Huntail has with my design. I really like her, and I hope you do too. And next up, we're going into legendary territory because next up is HoOh, who is genderless, so non-binary umbrella time again. Let's go. I struggled with HoOh because I was torn between the fact I should dress them in traditional clothing that fits with their story and design inspiration coming somewhat from a Chinese phoenix that I forget the name of because I forgot to write it down. However, HoOh is also classified as the rainbow Pokemon, and it's Pride Month. So forget what would be the most accurate. I'm giving in and HoOh's going to Pride and they are partying. I gave them hair like HoOh's head feathers and went to town on makeup. They have black eyeshadow to call back to what HoOh actually has in game, but I added some color to their lashes. Specifically the colors in the rainbow that HoOh doesn't actually have in their design, despite every dex entry stating that they have 7 colored wings or something similar to that. Pretty sure that might be from the limitations from the original games, but you know. I also gave them gold lipstick and some earrings as well. I really like how all of this turned out. I tried to put like every color of the rainbow on their face in some way, whether it was on their eyelashes or on their lipstick. You know, just anywhere on there, tried to fit it in. They have a green choker like HoOh's pattern, and I gave them red sleeves that poof out at the end into feather-like hanging ruffles. Don't ask what the sleeves are attached to, they just slide up their arm. Oh yeah, they have rainbow nails too. You can tell I just added a bunch of little rainbow things everywhere. I then gave them a white leotard, and when I was in the planning stage, I actually sent the sketch to my boyfriend and asked if he thought that they needed pants. And he responded, and I quote, "Not in Pride Month," which I found really funny. I also gave them feather-like poofs to look like HoOh's tail, and finished off the design with boots, the color of HoOh's feet, and once again, a sprinkle of rainbows as well. And some white stockings that have like a garter. And yeah, that's my HoOh drawing. Hope you like them. I think they are fabulous and absolutely killing it. But you'll have to be the judge of that. Hope I did HoOh justice. And the last up for this video is actually Helioptile. Which, side note, Helioptile is a very cute Pokemon. Little small lizard friend, I want to hug them. The randomizer also decided that this was going to be a girl. I gave her hair that parts to resemble Helioptile's triangle pattern on its head. And I also give her long black pigtails with a yellow gradient at the end to look like Helioptile's frills. I know that they can like poof them out to look more like solar panels, but it's fine. I gave her a yellow tank top with a dark gray bandana to add some more visual interest. I also gave her some gray shorts with some darker gray cuffs and gray gloves that I imagine might be electrician ones because electric type. I added a bit more yellow onto them again for visual interest. I also gave her yellow socks and her gray shoes have yellow laces. Look, Helioptile is like two colors being yellow and a grayish black, which while that is a pretty combo, it does not give me a lot to work with. On that note, I really love the blue eyes. They're a very pretty pop of color, and I think they look really nice. She kind of gives me vibes that she'd ironically be one of the main characters in a Digimon series for some reason. I think it might be the bandana and yellow shirt reminding me of Kari from the first season. But yeah, here's my Helioptile. Fun fact, I actually forgot that Helioptile was part normal type when I made the little background part, and I had to go back and fix it because I originally just had this as pure yellow, and I was like, oh wait, no, they're part normal. So I had to go back and fix her. I really like her and hope that you do too. I think she's super cute. And with that said, who was your favorite design in this video? I'd really love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and haven't already, I recommend checking out my Pokemon Gijinkas playlist that I'll have linked below and in a card above. I'd also appreciate if you could like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. As of recording this, I'm actually really close to 5K subscribers, and I am internally screaming. I really appreciate you all, and it lights up my days just seeing all the comments and stuff. My socials are linked below, including my channel Discord and my Instagrams. My commissions are open if you'd like to support me that way, and with that said, happy Pride Month, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Peace!